Hey, what's going on? It's your boy E. Jones. Bottom to the top hoops. My man, the Black Elvis.
What's up, E? What's good?
We back at it one more again. I want to extend our much gratitude and thanks for y'all supporting the Bottom to the Top movement.
Hold up.
What's up, man?
Big shout out to City Legends, man.
Yes, sir.
One of our sponsors, man. E. Jones,
Yeah.
Jerry Ice holding it down, doing big things, big tournaments.
Yes, sir.
Catch one, it's already working, baby. They working.
That's it, man. Definitely. CL's in the building. Gotta pay the bills.
Gotta pay the bills.
Yes, sir. So I want to give a big shout out to the sponsor for this segment of the show.
Okay.
The Parkchester Boys and Girls Club.
Shout out to them, man. Doing great things.
Teen Center, Northeast section of the Bronx, servicing kids from the age of 13 to 19.
That's awesome.
Been around for probably the past 10 years.
Okay.
Hidden gem there in the Bronx, man, doing great work. So thank you to them for their support of the show.
Definitely. Beautiful job. Beautiful job.
Thank you, man. We appreciate that.
Yes.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy E. Jones, Bottom to the Top Hoops. Here with the Bronx legend, Mr. Basketball.
I know, baby.
St. Ray's.
Yes, sir.
University of Texas.
Yep, check that box.
Phoenix Suns, Miami Heat.
A little bit.
My God.
Already.
Yes, sir. So, obviously a very special interview. Interviewed many people from New York City and specifically the Bronx, which we claim and represent always. So, starting from the beginning, because a lot of people know your history, the things that you've done, the things you've been able to accomplish as a player and a coach. But I want to get into the beginning. Talk about the essence of, all right, you're from 174th Longfellow Avenue. What did that story look like before we even met? In terms of your introduction to basketball, like how did that come about?
Well, it's crazy because I tell people all the time, like I don't really remember my life without it. You know what I'm saying?
Without basketball.
Without basketball, right? I was introduced at a young age. My father played during his day, high school-wise, never went beyond that, but you know, he was always a fan. He was always on TV in my house. Older brother Paul, Riverside Church, Talentine, the whole thing. So as a young boy, I was around it 24/7, whether I was with my brother at his games, running around with them, or sitting with my pops, watching on TV all the way back to the Ernie and Bernie Knicks and, you know,
Tennessee and all that.
All of that.
So you make an interesting point. You don't remember yourself being without basketball, and you had a lineage of people who played before you. Do you think that contributed to your basketball IQ and your understanding of the game?
That's absolutely the truth. Because not only, you know what I mean, not only did I watch the games with my father or brother, but we talked about it. You know what I mean? We broke it down. They made sense out of it for me. They answered the questions I had about certain situations and certain things players did. So, you know, that gave me the foundation for my understanding of the game. And then take it a step further, when I watched games as a kid, I always was really into the commentary. And that's where I learned a lot more about the game.
The Dick
Bartels,
Bartels,
the Al McGuires, the Billy Packers, the whole deal. And you know, I would listen to what they said a good player could do, what good guards could do, being a rebound, whatever characteristics they were describing that good players did. I always wanted to put those elements into my game. So that was a big part of my learning curve as well.
So now you go IS 167.
167, yes.
Right? Playing with Damon Santiago, my man Onion. You had a crew.
Had a crew early.
So you see a lot of AAU basketball, and you notice these days, especially in New York City, not a lot of emphasis is put on school basketball. And I feel like those were special times that sometimes get overlooked in people's stories, right? Because I don't know if the school pressure is the same as the AAU pressure. So you can have fun with your friends because these are your classmates you see probably sometimes more than your family. What was that like, and how did that help you develop and get ready kind of for the next level?
Well, I mean, I think it's the dynamics have changed a little bit. I think when we were younger, the school side of it played a little bit heavier part in terms of, you know, cement your reputation, being recruited a little bit better. But I think the thought process with us back then, obviously it's a different time, so that changed dynamics too. But we took everything serious, right? We didn't say, I'm going to play with the church or the Chos this weekend. That's more important. No, I want to play better over here than it's over here. You know what I mean? So we always had a fair balance of, pouring our energy into both entities equally.
Right.
And I think there's a little bit of, I'm not saying that kids don't play hard at school or whatever the case may be.
Listen, I'm saying it.
All right.
Playing hard is a skill.
Now it is.
Yeah. So I had my guy Rasul on the show, and we talked about when did that come about? Like, what can we identify when playing hard became a skill?
That's a good question. I don't know if it started with. I think this is just my opinion. I don't know if it started with the Dennis Rodman thing.
Yeah.
But he was skilled. He was just playing hard. You know what I mean? But he was so far ahead of his time in terms of rebounding the ball that I think the line got blurred.
Right.
And I've had that conversation with numerous people over time as well, because I'm a college coach now. I recruit.
Right.
And you do your research and you call about kids, and first thing coach said, he plays hard. I don't know what that means. Like, that's the price of admission, right?
Right.
If you don't do that, what's the use? So I don't really know exactly when that line got blurred.
But it's a real thing.
It's a real thing now, and guys get favorable, reviews, favorable accounts of their game because they play hard, and it's kind of crazy.
So I'm gonna just divert for a second.
Yep.
Riverside Church. We had a lot of guys on the show. You got a fellow Riverside guy behind the camera.
Yeah.
He's in his glory right now. Probably gonna give us a little smile, right?
No doubt.
We know about the two horses in town. It was the Riverside and the Gauchos. It was always citywide. Boise yesteryear, Rucker, that was the championship, right? So if you talk to the Riverside guy, they're like, listen, I ain't losing the Gauchos, or like you know what it was. What was your memory and your experience of Riverside Gaucho rivalry? What was that like?
You know what? When I think back, like, obviously it was real. It was intense. It was extremely intense. At every age.
I'm so sorry.
No.
I gotta preface it by saying this is my guy and he's a truth teller. So I know you're gonna give the fans
I'm gonna give it over
the story. Okay.
At least my account of it. I mean, you might jump in and curve it your way, but it was really. I just remember it as a kid. It was so intense.
Right.
Riverside Gauchos. Who you play for? Oh, Gauchos. I went to school with Damon Santiago. We was backcourt mates in junior high school, but we were foes when it came to Riverside Gauchos.
Yes.
So it was always something that you had to deal with. It was whoever you played, whoever you ran into, it was always a conversation.
Yeah.
And those games were big. I mean, from 11 and up all the way to 17. You know what I mean? So I just remember those days as like, and the funny thing is when I first started playing for the church, you know how it was no YouTube. It was no way you could check up on this kid that you heard about.
The story.
Alcatraz. Oh, y'all playing against Alcatraz?
Right.
I don't know who that is. That sounds crazy to me. You know what I mean? So it made you kind of sharpen your sword a little bit more so because you really the unknown.
But you're also trying to validate yourself in this space of New York City basketball to be able to say, I'm one of the guys that needs to be in this conversation.
Yeah.
Right? So it was a select few at every age group that got a chance to play with Riverside and the Gauchos. Yeah. And I was fortunate enough, you were fortunate enough to be in that conversation. Obviously, we played against each other in school, outside of school. It was a very unique balance because here it was that we were friends, really close friends. But when it came to hooping, it was like, yo, I'm going at you.
I'll let you later,
And I'm wearing this black and orange, and you got on that blue and gold, and it's a real rivalry to the point where guys would like talk trash, sometimes came to, you know what I mean, more than that.
Yeah, it can go any way. And like I said, I just remember how intense those games were and the conversations surrounding those games, Stone Gym, everything that came with that whole experience, man. And I'll be honest, like I don't know if I've ever been nervous to play a game since then. I mean, Riverside chose as a 11, 12, 13-year-old, and the park is crowded, and that buzz that came along with it, like. Because those were my beginnings of organized basketball, and I'm trying to establish myself. And New York is harsh, man. You go out there and look crazy.
New York is true.
That's part of it too. It's 100. New York is 100 when it comes to letting you know where you stand.
Yeah,
right?
if you nice,
they're gonna tell you.
You
But
nice,
if you're
but-
not, they're gonna tell you too. You know what I mean? So, in that regard, man, like playing those games against the Chos, it brought a lot of different emotions. Because number one, you wanted to show you belong, and then beyond that, you want to show not only do I belong, but I'm one of these dudes. And number two, you want to win those games. So
Right.
it came with a lot of pressure at a young age.
Right.
And you know, obviously, if you look at the guys who were spurned from that era, you know, a lot of guys were able to move on, move forward.
Right,
You know,
play
go
at
to
a
college,
high
play at a high level, and you know, just kind of fit in seamlessly into those steps because of that foundation.
So I watched your ascension, right? Came into high school together, 1987.
87. Oof. Yeah.
So we could talk for days,
Yeah,
man,
we
about
used to
when
have
we
these conversations.
when we did off the camera. We talked first day of school, all these guys. Where do I fit in?
Yeah.
So you get to St. Ray's. I know what my mindset was because I was like late coming into school.
Yeah.
What was your mindset? Like, where were you at? Because you had exposure because of your brothers. You had
Right.
exposure because of your dad. Riverside Church, it was almost like, okay, not talent time, St. Ray's, Dow Reed is out, Mike Thompson is, Eddie Rivera, Chucky Martin, big shout out to the big bros. They're kind of in the driver's seat and on the way out. Now it's like, we want to really make a push.
Yeah.
And arguably, the 1987 class that...
There's no argument. Go finish it. Finish. Go ahead, finish. There's no argument, but you go finish.
First city championship in school history.
Yeah.
I wasn't on the team, so just be clear for that, right? Sorry about that, Gary. But talk about your mindset going in and kind of how it played out through those high school years.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we know that Alverny,
Oh, we know, yeah. We got smashed on a lot in that process. But
you know, you played varsity as a sophomore. So I'm interested to know, and I'm sure the fans are, how it was in T. Rencher's head, because everybody watched you go from skinny 5'9" kid who had game. Everybody always felt you was nice, but then you turned into T. Rencher, right?
Right.
First name, first initial, last name.
You know, you're doing something when you get those. Yeah.
Right.
No, well, it's funny how that whole process came about, right? So, just to take a half a step back, just the decision to go to St. Ray's, right?
Right.
So we go. I think it's me, Book, and
Big shout out to
y'all
you.
should have bro. You
Yo,
already know
the
what
bro.
that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go from. I'm not sure we had practice at the church. We were 8th grade at the time, trying to figure out the next step, where we gonna go to high school. You know, back then, it's maybe similar now, but we got recruited. You know how that was. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Yeah.
Gary's coming to Castle Hill to watch us play, and you know, I'm going on a visit to Talentine to talk to Coach Rencher and All Hallows, and I'm like, really
college
getting recruited. Really getting recruited.
It's college prep.
So we go to the Archdiocese Championship game at Mount St. Michael. It's Talentine, rest in peace Malik Sealy and that crew, against St. Ray's, Mike Thompson, D. Reed, Chuck, Money.
Man.
So, and you know, St. Ray's wasn't, you know, everybody knew what St. Ray's, but it wasn't Talentine, my boy, Christ the King. It wasn't in that league at that point. So they actually ended up winning that game, won the Archdiocese Championship, and me and Book said, you know, we kind of did the math, like, all right, so that dude's gonna be a senior next year, but we didn't see any depth beyond those guys. So in our mind, it was, all right, we going in there, and this is how I looked at it. Freshman year, I'm on varsity, like.
That was your.
I'm-
Let me just be clear. I had these conversations with Mel as well. He had the same mindset. I didn't have that mindset, right? Like,
You're right. I remember those days. You didn't have that same expectation.
I was
You know what I mean?
Look, let's just be clear about what this is.
Yeah.
I got into St. Ray's 2 days before school started, right? You know, fortunate that Gaucho's helped out.
Yeah.
Greg Wilkinson, big shout out to my guy, got me in, right? So just to hear that was your mindset. So now you get into St. Ray's, we play freshman ball, we make it to the city championship. We know how that played out, right? But the experience at Fordham University probably set it up for later.
No question.
Then you go into varsity. I'm on JV.
Right.
Now you guys are being, you know, Gary DeCesar, and I'm gonna shout him out for this, man. I remember him saying, we have to take our lumps and we have to be prepared for where we're going. So he foreshadowed all of this stuff, right?
So unbelievable.
So kudos to him for that. And I think a lot of people built programs based on his model.
Yeah.
And we know how, OCD he is, but he had a formula, he had a thought process. So he's very forward thinking. So he knew the pillars, Orlando, you, book, in my opinion.
Right.
There were many people who contributed, Carl Green, John Mahoney, bunch of people who were around. Yeah, Lamb McGrath, but those pillars was like, I'm gonna put time and energy into these guys. And like, I would wonder, like, we have workouts, and I'm like, yo, we working, nah, Book and T, they working out. Y'all can go home. So, as a coach, sometimes you identify, he saw something in you.
There's no question he did.
Did he communicate that?
No, and that was the problem, right? So to take it a step back to freshman year, I'm playing varsity in my mind. I might not be as good as Chuck, Mike, and Mun, but beyond that, I feel like I can
compete.
Be a part of that deal.
Yeah.
So this is, I guess, and obviously, Gary means a lot to me. I know he's been through a lot with a lot of different people.
Right.
But what he's done for me, the dude holds a special place in my life to this day. So,
right.
And obviously, I couldn't see it. I'm 13. I go in there, I want to say my first week of school, he pulls me in the office and just breaks my whole thing down. And I'm sitting there like, I ain't even do nothing. Like, tell me how bad of a player I am. I'm nowhere near as good as those guys on varsity. I probably can't even make JV. And he just starts the process of just chipping away, breaking me down. I don't understand. It's like, I'm a decent kid. I'm not raising no hell in here. You know what I mean? You wanted me to come here.
I thought I was a prize recruit.
A week and a half ago, you was all excited about me coming here, and all of a sudden, so that went on through our freshman year. And to be honest with you, I go home. One of those nights, I went home and had a discussion with my parents, like, I don't know if I can do it. And they just looked at me like, well, you decided to go there. You got to figure that out.
Right.
And at that moment,
you just touched on so many points, man. Because number one, you got to stop going in the other staircase when he's not on the second floor by the computer complex, right? He's like, oh, no, I'm going the other way.
Can't see him.
But the second side of it is like your parents held you accountable, right?
Yeah.
And it's so easy, and you see so many kids running away from competition, right? If the situation is not perfect. Because, we all gonna have our moment when we like, man, I don't want this. But the decision was made not on an impulse.
No.
There was a lot of thought, time, recruitment. Yeah. So you got to look at the big picture, but as a kid, you can't see that. So unfortunately, a lot of parents, they almost think like children. And their mindset is almost like a kid, like my kid is not being done right or played enough. And then they get emotional and then potentially make a decision that could hurt their kid. So just to that point, big shout out to your moms and pops for being able to make you stay the course and say, you know what, you're gonna stay in this smoke and you're gonna take this discipline. Because it wasn't anything where I'm sure, Gary was a tough guy, but for as much as he held us accountable, he put a lot into us.
No question. And the thing about Gary, like, first of all, he was young, man, like at that time. If I'm not mistaken, 24, 25 years old, 26 at maximum at that time.
Yeah.
Not only that, he lived in Parkchester. So he knew what, we were dealing with, So
first of all, he knew everything.
He knew everything. You know what I'm saying? So his method, right? Work the dog crap out of us, take us to college games, do this, do that, and all just to keep us off the block for a little bit longer, right?
That's what people didn't realize, man. He came back from the Final Four. He gave all of us a T-shirt.
Gave everybody
all of us a hat. Yeah. We go on to Midnight Madness at this school. He would take 3 this day, 4 next week. And all of those things is we didn't realize, like, it might be a high school game. He'd be like, we're going to watch Malloy and Talentine tonight. He wanted to get you an opportunity to see what it's like to go to the next level. So you might not agree with his methods. You may not agree with the way he went about it, but for the amount of kids that he helped,
proof's in the pudding, right? So, so we get through freshman year.
Yeah.
Sophomore year, we get the bump to varsity. I thought I should have played the year before. Played that year varsity. I mean, you got to think about the league at that time, man, with the Malloys and the Hayes and the Towntowns, all Hollows, you know, Christ the King. I mean, all the way to Long Island Luther. I mean, it was so many good programs, good players, good coaches, and we just got stomped on that year. And I remember thinking to myself at times during that course of that season, I never verbalized to anybody else, but I had tremendous doubt about my ability that year. Like,
I mean,
these dudes
listen,
strong,
this
fast,
is
athletic.
exclusive on Bottom to the Top Hoops. Like, at the end of the day, people would never think that the guys who make it to the highest level have trepidation about, you know, your basketball talents and ability, because they just see you perform.
Right.
Because you might lose that game in St. Ray's, but guess what? You might be playing in LaGuardia House and go kill, and they're like, T. Rencher is the best.
Exactly.
And you're playing varsity as a sophomore.
Right. So, you know what I mean? Like, that was, I think that year, for the most part, was kind of like the crossroad for me at that time as a player, because it was like
getting over the hump.
I'm getting over the hump. I'm not I was 6 feet, 145, 150 pounds. I wasn't very athletic at the time. You know, I was still trying to grow into my body and you know, mature a little bit. So it was hard for me to keep up. Like, I had to exert maximum energy just to keep up in the varsity game at that time. But at the end of the day, it didn't make me go that way. It made me buckle down and say, you know what, I'm
gonna hit these weights.
Yeah, I'm about to get at this. I know I'm good enough. I just got to put the time in and keep believing.
Your confidence helped you.
Absolutely.
So I'm speaking from a first-hand account because we've played obviously for a long time together and against each other. That was a rip in LaGuardia House. I mean, excuse me, in Gaucho Round Ball.
I slipped. I'll tell you what happened. I'm bringing the ball down. I try to make a move. I slipped. Gaucho Jim, they ain't sweeping between games that day. He picked the ball up and went and laid it up. I slipped. And my optics was a slip. His optics, he picked my pocket.
Listen, why are you mad at me because I was a defensive stopper? I didn't do much else. That's what I did.
Not me though. You defensive stop the rest of them dudes, but I slipped.
Why can't you just own it for the people?
I'm not giving that. I'll always be 100 about getting picked, getting dunked on, getting my shot blocked, but my recollection was I might have had on some like track New Balance or something too. You know me, I used to play all types of crazy stuff. So
no, you was older now. You had St. Ray's kid.
Okay,
you had real St. Ray's kid.
I slipped. We just gonna go to the grave agreeing to disagree on that because I'm gonna get
the footage.
Somebody
or something.
was there.
Yeah, this is crazy. I'm just letting you know this is crazy. So, you know, it's a great bit of information that you share and how your parents held you to account and all of that thing. So now you have the confidence and conviction that you're going to work. It's going into your junior year. I'm now in the fold, right? And I think it was healthy because you had to have somebody who pushed you in this. You know what I mean? You had to have, you know, and Gary DeCesar put a team together that literally, like at every position, we had guys who was going to challenge each other in practice. And I think good teams need players that are talented to kind of push each other and make each other better. So arguably, we had, you know, a bunch of scholarship players.
Too deep in every position.
And that year, I know what my mindset was. What was yours?
Junior year, I just wanted to be a better player. I just wanted to show that I really belonged at that level because I didn't feel like I accomplished that as a sophomore. You know, playing, you know, as a kid, you just it was so much fanfare on playing varsity as an underclassman. And a lot of times, like, I just got caught up in it. I just wanted to be a varsity player. Right. And then I realized I'm probably not a varsity player. So junior year was just the confirmation that, okay, I can do this. I can not only can I compete, but some of these nights I'm gonna be one of the best or the best guy on the court. And we're gonna beat some of these good teams. And it started really in the summer of your sophomore year, playing AAU stuff with the Riverside. So, a couple of things stand out for me. Great Alaska High School Tournament. First time ever, 1989, on local TV, playing against Shane Knight. It was one of the most amazing experiences, and so you knapsacked us, especially in the semifinal game, right? What did that do for you as a player besides going to Pier 51? Oh, Pier 51, that's a club for high school kids in Anchorage, Alaska.
Stay away from it.
Yeah, stay out of there. But no, you know that just, you know, that's just add on to the confidence, right? Like you just mentioned, I had a good summer, you know, going into my junior year with the church and we 5-star and all those things. So now it's like, okay, we playing national events. We're winning national events. I'm regarded as one of the better players at these events. So now I'm starting to not just want it, but I'm starting to get it now. You know what I mean? Which made me really hungry now. You know what I mean?
So you want
starting
more.
to taste this thing. Oh man, this is what it's like. USA Today and getting these types of mentions and Athlete of the Week and okay, now I'm really gonna turn this thing up.
So
and that kind of boosted that.